Britta, Webmistress of the Dark, and today I'm going to show you one of my easiest recipes, my Savory Spiders with Gooey Guts. You could make this a little more difficult by making your own biscuit dough from scratch, but why bother when you can use one of these cans of 10 ready-made biscuits all ready to pop in the oven. All you need is 2 biscuits to make a whole spider, and so you can keep going and make as many spiders as you like, as many cans of biscuits as you want to buy. So I'm going to go ahead and set out these biscuits so they're all ready to go, just wherever they are now, because we're going to cut them apart and form them into spiders. Now that I have some biscuits ready, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to cut them to make a spider. So you're going to need 2 biscuits for each spider. 1 biscuit remains whole, that will be the body, and the other one gets cut into the 4 pairs of legs and the head. So first of all, go ahead and cut. I have my kitchen shears cleaned with soap and water to be ready for food use. So cut about 1/3 down the biscuit, that will be the head. Cut the remaining part of the biscuit into 4 strips, that will be the pairs of legs. Doesn't matter where they're sitting right now because you're going to be forming them into the spider any minute now. So take one of the pairs of legs, it's probably the longest one, go ahead and gently twist it a little bit so you make it skinnier and longer, and at the ends taper it a little bit so you have little tapered feet. And we're going to set this guy right here. These will be the back 2 legs from the head. Take the next longest strip, do the same thing, twist it as long as you can and taper the ends without ripping the dough apart. Make sure that's touching the other pair of legs. So you're going to have 2 shallow U's there. Take the next strip. This will be the front 2 legs up by the head. So make it as long as you can again, because it has to stick out from underneath the head. Make sure that touches that first pair of legs and sticks out farther forward. Take the very last piece that was the shortest one, twist that one. This will be the back 2 legs. Since the back 2 legs only barely stick out behind the body, they don't need to be quite as long, so that one's fine to use the shortest piece. So make sure all those legs are touching and make sure they're stuck really well together. Now, if you're going to put gooey guts inside your spider, you need to make the whole biscuit as concave as you can. You're going to nestle it in your hand here to make a little cup, because you're going to make a pouch with as small of an opening as possible so you can pipe the cheese in there, and then you'll be able to crimp it afterwards so that the cheese doesn't come out while you're baking. I have a little baggie with nacho cheese in here already with the end cut off the baggie to make a little makeshift piping tip. I'm going to squirt some cheese in here. Be careful that you don't put too much cheese or you will have a problem closing it. So just about half full at the most. Then carefully, so you don't squish the cheese, crimp the dough all around it and start twisting it so that it really will stay together, and so that it will, otherwise it might pop open while baking. Twist that really well. Tap the twist down so it'll stick, then turn it all over so the twisted side is what's sticking to the legs. Go ahead and make sure that has good contact with all the sticky there. Now take the last piece, and this is the head. So go ahead and put it into a ball like the body, except you want to make sure that all the raw edges, the cut edges, were actually inside the twist. Tap the twist down again to make sure it holds, and then turn it over so the twisted side sticks to the body. Now make sure this all sticks together, otherwise it can pop open while it's baking, and there you have your spider. Now I'm going to continue making the rest of the tray so we can bake them and show you how they look. You see here that I've made a dozen spiders ready to go in the oven. Now, since there's only 10 biscuits per can, that only makes 5 spiders, so I actually had to open a 3rd can to get a dozen made on the tray. Just keep opening cans of biscuits when you're ready to use more for as many spiders as you're making for your party. I'm going to make a lot more, so no problem. Those cans of biscuits are only 50 cents each that I found, so it's a pretty cheap way to make a whole lot of spiders for your party. These will not brown very much in the ovens because they're just buttermilk biscuits, so they'll be very pale spiders. If you want to actually get a little more browning, you can paint on an egg wash or milk so that you have some protein that will brown. I just like my albino spiders because they're kind of ghostly and spooky that way. I already preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit per the can instructions for the biscuits. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and we'll be back in a bit after we check the timer. So, since the biscuit instructions say 10 to 13 minutes, but I had made the biscuits smaller by making them into legs, I wanted to make sure I checked earlier. So I started checking at 6 minutes. These have been in there 8 minutes and they look about done. Let's go ahead and take them out. And here we are. You can see, even through my best efforts, there I still have some gooey guts all over the place. That's okay, there's probably still some inside. And these did brown a little more than I was expecting, but they still look nice and spooky. So we're going to let these cool before we arrange them for serving. Now that these have cooled a little so that they will stay together in the right shape, we're going to take them off the tray. Now you can see that the cheese is still gooey, and that's exactly what we want. The problem with using grated cheese or some other kind of cheese is that it will set up again at room temperature and it will no longer be gooey guts. It'll be kind of solid cheese guts. So since I wanted gooey guts, that's why I used canned, the jar of nacho cheese so that it would actually be liquid at room temperature. Gooey guts. Now that the spiders have all cooled, I've arranged them crawling out of a wire basket because I thought, why not try a different thing than just arrange them on a plate? As you can see, the legs stayed fairly thin, but they puffed up a little bit. Just imagine if we hadn't worked so hard to make them long and thin, imagine how much they would have puffed up when they rose in the oven. So these turned out really well. Here are the Savory Spiders with Gooey Guts. I hope you've enjoyed watching today. For more projects and recipes like this, you can buy my book, Eerie Elegance, which is available at eerieelegance.com. I hope you have a fabulous Halloween and happy haunting! Gooey Guts.